A black beggar woman saves abused child. Years later, the millionaire gets a surprise. Anna's hands shook as she shuffled through dirty leaves in the park, her stomach growling louder than the city noise. She wore layers of worn clothes, each thread telling a story of cold nights on concrete. People walked past her like she was invisible, some with disgusted looks, others with quick pity that never lasted. The city was a beast. Bright lights, glass towers, and dark alleys where dreams died quietly. Then she heard the scream. A sharp, hard voice cut through the afternoon haze. A man's voice, booming and cruel. A little girl's sobs hit Anna like ice. She looked up, spotting a well-dressed man grabbing a small hand roughly. The girl, maybe 7 or 8, trembled, her tear-streaked face pressed against expensive fabric, stained by dirt. The man's anger was a force, dangerous and ugly. His words spit threats. His fist punched the air like a weapon. The crowd nearby jerked their heads. Rich man losing it. Poor kid. Why doesn't someone stop him? Anna's heart punched harder. She saw herself in that girl. Years ago, trapped under shadows darker than this city's alleys. The lump in her throat grew and cold hands clenched tighter. She couldn't look away. Not this time. Without thinking, Anna stepped forward, voice low but urgent. "Sir, leave the child alone." The man turned, eyes wild like a storm breaking. People froze. The shark silence swallowed the park. But Anna didn't back down. She reached past the man and took the trembling girl's hand. Lucy's small fingers curved bien con Anna's rough palma. Un murmuré Manuel por la calle. Ninguno se movió. El hombre se naciaba, pero algo en Anna's mirada lo paró. No por miedo, mas el fuego intento de una vez. Anna lo llevó con velocidad, duplicándose en el aflojero de las calles. El frío de la ciudad precipitó en todo calor. En ese momento robado, Anna vio un fáculo, esperanza frágil y brillante. El año sí rolando, como cayendas para la tierra. Lucy creció, fuerte, inteligente. Se convirtió en una mujer con mente firme y en una empresa con tanta maceta que susurraba el éxito en luces alzadas. Pero detrás de cada transacción y engañanza se metía grandes extalas. Que Lucía tenía una mente débil venía del escándalo con el efecto del imperio, el imperio que vaqueó. Así, Lucy's world cracked wide open, the pressure suffocating, the weight of history twisted in her chest like a blade. And then, out of nowhere, Anna stepped back into her life. The woman who had vanished years ago now emerged as Lucy's secret strength. Their reunion was raw and shaky, filled with questions neither could answer fast enough. What did Anna know? How much more was buried under the city's glitter? Together, they began peeling away the lies. But the deeper they dug, the darker the revelations. Dangerous secrets lurked. Criminal deals, hidden violence that could destroy everything Lucy had built. Threats shadowed Anna's every step. Fear wrapped tight around them both. How far will Lucy go to protect the woman who saved her? What sacrifices will they make to finally break free from their past's cruel chains? Can they stand against a man whose wealth feeds on pain and silence? The city watches, breath held tight, waiting for their next move. What will happen next? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without notice. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content that's coming. And since you're here, drop a powerful like that really helps me with the algorithm. Oh, and let me know in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. Anna and Lucy stood shoulder to shoulder in the dim light of the cafe. A swirl of steam from their mugs rising into tea. Anna's face wore the weight of memories, while Lucy's eyes sparkled with determination. Together, we're going to expose everything, Lucy said, her voice steady, yet a tremor of doubt lay just beneath. Everything, Anna echoed, the word heavy on her tongue. There was comfort in their alliance. They pored over documents, piecing together the fabric of lies woven around Lucy's father for years. The air felt electric as they uncovered whispers of his shadowy deals. It was a tangled web, filled with suffering and deceit. But with each truth unveiled, the anger within Lucy grew, igniting a fierce need for justice. Suddenly, a loud crash shattered their focus. The cafe's door flew open, and a young woman stumbled in, eyes wide, gasping for breath. Panic washed over her like a wave as she approached them, her hands trembling. "Help!" she managed to choke out. "He's coming for you. He knows you're looking into him." Anna's heart thundered. Who was this woman? How did she know them? Who? Anna demanded, the urgency gripping her. Who knows? Lucy's father, the woman breathed, her gaze darting over her shoulder, as if expecting danger to burst through the door. He has eyes everywhere. He's been watching, and he won't stop until he silences you both. Lucy's breath hitched. What do you mean? How do you know this? But the woman didn't respond. A look of terror crossed her face. I saw him with... Before she could finish, the door slammed open again, and in stepped a figure that froze time in the cafe. It was him, Lucy's father, a picture of power and malice, eyes cold and calculating. The air turned icy as fear enveloped the room. He scanned the cafe, then his gaze landed on Lucy and Anna. A slow smile crept across his face. Well, well, what a surprise, he said. His voice smooth as silk, but laced with something darker. Anna felt the blood drain from her face. Run, she shouted impulsively, but the other woman was already bolting for the door. Her last glimpse of terror etched in their minds. Lucy stood rooted, the words choking in her throat. She asked, her voice trembling, but defiance tinged her tone. He stepped closer, cool confidence radiating off him. I just wanted to see how the two of you were getting along. You've been quite the busy bees, he said, eyes glinting with menace. And then came the words that shattered the fragile hope encasing the moment. Did you enjoy the reunion? It's nice to see you've connected with Anna again. But did she tell you who she really is? Lucy's stomach dropped. What do you mean? Panic clawed at her, and reality twisted into something grotesque. Did she tell you, he said, his smile widening, that Anna has been the reason for your mother's disappearance? Tied to her life in ways you can't even begin to understand. The cafe fell silent, Anna's face turned ghostly pale, the weight of the world crashing down around her. Lucy's eyes widened in disbelief, heart racing, mind reeling. No, that can't be true. Anna stood frozen, her hands trembling violently, breath caught in her throat. Lucy, but the words failed to come, leaving an unbearable tension thick in the air. Lucy's world spun. The woman she trusted had shattered her reality just with a smile. Every memory twisting like barbed wire. The implications cut deep, leaving a raw wound, as fear and betrayal surged between them like rising tide. Anna searched Lucy's eyes for understanding. "Please, let me explain." But Lucy felt the ground shift beneath her, the foundation of her world crumbling. "What truth?" she whispered, unsure whether she wanted an answer or to turn her back on all of it. The city's pulse echoed outside, but inside, time stood still, their bond hanging by a thread. And then a loud bang resonated, not from outside, but from the cafe's back entrance. Another twist, another threat, looming ever closer. What now? They were caught in a storm, with trust slipping away. The walls felt like they were closing in, and chaos threatened to swallow them whole. The city's pulse thrummed, tension crackling in the air. Anna and Lucy huddled together in a shadowy corner, their hearts racing, minds reeling. But just as they began to breathe easier, a sudden alarm shattered the fragile bubble of safety. A fierce siren wailed in the distance, growing louder, unnatural in its urgency. Muffled voices erupted from nearby alleyways, fear rippling through the crowd like a wave. "It's the police!" someone shouted, panic chasing through the park. Anna's stomach sank. She glanced at Lucy, whose eyes widened, all the warmth drawn away, replaced by dread. "We have to go now," Anna whispered, gripping Lucy's arm tightly. They turned, ready to flee, but then a voice boomed, a familiar voice, cutting through the chaos. "Lucy, stop right there!" Lucy froze, her breath hitching. It was her father, the man who had haunted her dreams. He stood there, face twisted in rage, flanked by men in dark suits. Cruel smiles hidden beneath polished exteriors. The crowd split nervously, like a curtain drawn back. They watched, eyes wide, breath held tight at the sight of the powerful man emerging, confidence dripping from every expensive thread. Anna's heart hammered. "We can't let him," she started, but Lucy was already stepping forward, as if drawn by an invisible thread. "Dad, please." Her voice trembled, each word caught in a tight grip of fear and defiance. "You can't hurt me anymore." He laughed, the sound a wild, mocking cackle that rang harshly in the air. "You think you can escape me? You think you're free, little girl?" His eyes narrowed, and Anna felt the weight of his gaze, a dark cloud heavy with threat. Then, in a swirl of chaos, Lucy's hand shot up, pointing at her father. "The truth will come out! You can't silence me anymore!" Gasps echoed through the crowd. Heads turned, whispers ignited like fire. But then, all at once, like a lightning bolt striking in the night, the ground shook beneath them. A tremor so unexpected, it sent ripples of panic through the park. The sirens howled louder, drowning out the murmurs, while the sky darkened ominously. Suddenly, a blinding flash sliced through the gloom. A sharp explosion. Windows shattered, sending glass raining like deadly confetti. People screamed, scattering like leaves blown by a storm. Anna clutched Lucy's hand, pulling her into a protective embrace as they both fell to the ground. Dust swirled, choking the air, and chaos enveloped them. "Anna! Lucy!" The world spun. Voices blurred in the cacophony. They were swallowed by the chaos, desperately trying to find their footing. But then, through the haze, something caught Anna's eye. A figure emerged from the wreckage, moving with a purpose. It was Lucy's father, but he had a strange gleam in his eye. What was it? Relief? Triumph? "Dad, what have you done?" Lucy gasped, watching in horror. As he stood amidst the ruins, a smirk spread across his face. "They'll never know the truth, because you'll never see it coming." In that moment, Anna felt a chill race down her spine. This wasn't just a personal battle anymore. It was a game of power. Secrets, ready to consume both their lives. What did he mean? What truth? With the city in chaos and the ground still trembling, Anna and Lucy exchanged panicked glances, fear morphing into a burning resolve. They needed answers, and they needed them fast. But as smoke swirled around them, one question pierced through the chaos. Was Lucy really free? Or had they just stepped into a more dangerous game than either could have imagined? The explosion still echoed in Anna's ears. Confusion swirled around them, a living thing, making every breath feel shallow. Lucy could barely stand, eyes wide, heart hammering. The world had shifted, and her father was now the storm at its center. What did he mean by those words? The truth? Anna pulled Lucy closer, their bodies almost collapsing into each other under the weight of the moment. Panic was a fierce spiral, and the walls felt like they were inching in. Lucy squeezed Anna's hand, desperation radiating off her, eyes pleading. There was more to unravel. Everything felt wrong, tangled beyond recognition. "Lucy," her father called, his smooth, venomous voice cutting through the chaos like a knife. "Did you really think you could escape the truth? That I wouldn't find you?" The corner of his mouth twisted up. "You underestimate how much I care about my legacy." Anna couldn't take it. "This is about you? You think you have control over everything?" she spat, fury boiling in her chest. But as the words left her lips, a figure darted from behind the debris. It was the woman from the cafe. Eyes terrified, almost feral. Her presence was electric, disrupting the tension. "Lucy, you have to listen to me!" She rushed forward, heart racing. "He knows everything. He's not just your father. He's more dangerous than you understand." Lucy blinked, lost. "What do you mean?" Before the woman could answer, a loud crash ricocheted through the cafe, and dread seeped deeper into the air like an unwelcome fog. People screamed, ducking, running, shoving past one another in a blur of panic. Then, with unfathomable speed, the woman's expression shifted. It went from panic to something akin to resolution. "They're coming," she whispered, urgency flooding her voice. "Who's coming?" Anna asked, feeling the tide of unease rise. "The truth is deeper," the woman shouted, desperation cutting off her words. "The truth is buried with your mother." As if flicking a switch, Lucy's father laughed that dreadful, hollow laugh, and something stirred in his eyes, a familiar glint, a horrifying recognition. "Oh, how lovely," he said. "You found your little buddy from years past." But you don't know she isn't who you think she is. Time stopped. What? Lucy, don't listen! Anna shouted, her heart racing even faster. The woman's gaze flared with anguish. I am your sister. Your father used me to manipulate everything. Our mother? She's been trying to protect us both. A gasp slipped through Lucy's lips. Shock painted across her face. You're lying. Am I? The woman stepped closer. Desperation etched in every line of her face. Your father twisted everything. I'm not just some stranger. I'm part of your family. And this man, he's been playing us against each other since the beginning. Everything crashed down, reality spiraling wildly. Lucy's head spun, heart pounding hard enough to feel it in her throat. If this is true, if you're my sister, then everything you said, everything. But Lucy's father interrupted, his mouth curving into a predatory smile. What a lovely little story you're crafting here. Family drama, betrayal, secrets. How entertaining, he said, dismissively waving his hand. But let's be real. It won't change who holds the power. And I still control the narrative. Anna squeezed Lucy's hand again, holding on for dear life. You don't have to let him win. But the chaos had already drawn closer, shadows growing longer and darker. The crowd was fading, time slipping away. It felt monumental. The truth, secrets laid bare, betrayal spiraling. Lucy, the woman called, her voice breaking. Your mother's life depends on us stopping him now. And even as the words hung thick, another explosion rocked the streets, shaking foundations, sending smoke spiraling further. Then a second figure emerged from the shadows. A man, older, with a face lined with pain, clutching a locket, eyes piercing through the dust. Lucy, it's time you knew everything! Anna's heart raced against the din, an unsettling twist bubbling to the surface. Who are you? But just before he could answer, everything blurred again. The walls they built started to shatter, and in the span of a breath, perspective flipped rapidly. Lucy's world wasn't just tangled, it was collapsing. Would this new twist crush them or set them free? The city watched, breath held tight, waiting for the next move. Lucy stood in her sleek office, the skyline reflecting in her anxious eyes. The media storm had ramped up. Pictures of her father, eyes wild with anger, flashed across every screen. She had fought hard to build her company, her life. Now it all felt ready to crumble. Would the dark shadows she tried to escape swallow her whole? Anna had become her lifeline, anchoring her to hope. But with every step they took to uncover the truth, the grip of their past tightened. The whispers of hidden secrets mingled with the guilt that clawed at Lucy's heart. She paced the room, heart racing, mind churning. You're safe now, Anna would say. But Lucy wasn't convinced. How could she feel safe when the shadows lurked just beyond the glow of her success? Then came the night that changed everything. A loud knock shattered the stillness of Lucy's office. It echoed like thunder. She jumped, her eyes darting to Anna, who stood tense beside her. Lucy opened the door, her breath hitching at the sight before her. A young woman, frantic and disheveled, her eyes wide with panic. Lucy, you have to help me! Lucy's heart thudded. What's wrong? I'm from your father's old business. I have evidence, documents, everything. The girl trembled, clutching a worn folder as if it were her lifeline. He's planning something. Something huge and terrible. Before Lucy could ask more, the girl's gaze darted around like a trapped animal. He wants to silence me, to keep it all buried. Anna stepped forward, a protective instinct lighting her eyes. You need to calm down. We can help you. Just then, a loud crash echoed from the stairwell, followed by a series of heavy footsteps charging toward them. The girl's face drained of color. They're here! They know! In a heartbeat, Lucy's world shifted. Her heart raced. Who? Who's coming? Your father's men. They'll kill me! Before Lucy could respond, the door burst open. Two burly figures stormed in, faces set with fury. Get away from her! One roared, lunging for the girl. In the chaos, Lucy grabbed the girl's arm. Run! She shouted, and they sprinted toward the fire escape. Anna held her ground, fists clenched, ready to fight. I'll hold them off. Go! No, I won't leave you. Lucy's voice cracked as fear wrapped around her heart. But the girl pulled Lucy with desperate strength. Move! You only get one chance! They flew down the stairs, the world blurring around them. With every step, Lucy's stomach twisted tighter. Shadows from her past whispered doubts. Would she ever truly escape? They reached the ground floor and spilled out into the alley, breathless and shaken. What do you have? Lucy demanded, trying to catch her breath. It's all here, the girl gasped, thrusting the folder into Lucy's hands. She fumbled with it, barely seeing her surroundings, consumed by the weight of her father's potential betrayal. She opened it, her heart racing. But as she read through the documents, a cold chill wrapped around her spine. Every word felt like a punch. There it was, a hidden deal. And at the bottom of the last page, her breath hitched. The signature, bold and unmistakable, sent her reeling. Anna's name, scrawled next to her father's. No, it can't be. Lucy felt the world tilt. The ground fell away beneath her. Her eyes darted to Anna, who stood a few steps behind, frozen in shock, guilt written all over her face. In that instant, Lucy felt everything shift, the ground of her trust cracking, shaking. Was Anna still the woman who saved her? Or was there a darker connection buried in those shadows? The city loomed large around them, a cruel reminder of the battle that lay ahead. Secrets loomed like storm clouds, heavy and suffocating. What now? Lucy whispered, fear coursing through her veins. Anna looked at her, a mix of regret and resolve in her eyes. We fight, she said softly. But Lucy wasn't sure how to fight when everything she believed began to shatter. What waited for them in the darkness ahead? The city thrummed with a tension that hung thick in the air. Anna and Lucy sat in a small cafe, the distant hum of voices blending with the soft clinking of cups. Their table was tucked into a corner, shrouded in shadows. Yet their conversation was a bright spark amidst the dimness. Lucy looked older, wiser now, but her eyes carried a storm of emotions. I can't let my father destroy everything, she said, her voice a hoarse whisper. Not after everything we've uncovered. Anna reached out, her hand trembling as she wrapped it around Lucy's. We've got to be careful. He has power, connections. We can't let him find out we're onto him. Just then, a group of men entered the cafe, their laughter loud and raucous, cutting through the fragile moment. They wore expensive suits, and as they strode past, one man glanced at Lucy, his eyes narrowing. Anna felt an unsettling chill. Something about his look twisted in her gut. Lucy noticed too, her expression shifting from determination to alarm. "Who are they?" "I don't know," Anna murmured, stealing glances. "But we should leave." Suddenly, the man, thick-set and with a cruel smile, pivoted and approached. "Lucy," he called, his tone dripping with something menacing. "I didn't think I would find you here." A rush of panic washed over them. Anna stood, instinctively placing herself between Lucy and the man. "She doesn't want to talk to you," Anna said, her voice steady despite the chaos in her chest. The men behind him snickered, waiting for sport. "Is that so?" The man stepped closer, invading their space. "I'm just here to remind her of what she stands to lose." Lucy's eyes blazed, a fire igniting within. "Get away from me! You're not welcome here!" "Ah, but welcome is a funny thing. You see," his voice dropped to a low, threatening growl. "Your father's little empire is built on secrets, and I know things he wouldn't want you to find out. Things about your mother." The words landed like a punch. Lucy gasped, and Anna's heart raced. "What do you know?" Lucy demanded, her voice trembling. The man grinned wider, a shark reveling in blood. "Not here. You need to come with us, now." The cafe seemed to freeze, conversations hushed, heads turning. Anna tightened her grip on Lucy's hand, wanting to pull her away. But Lucy stood rooted, facing the man with defiance. "Lucy, let's go!" Anna urged, panic clawing at her insides. "Why should I listen to you?" Lucy shot back, her voice laced with anger. "You are part of this world I'm trying to escape." The man simply laughed, a cruel sound that echoed. "Escape? You can't escape blood! It's all over you, darling!" In that moment, a loud crash broke through the tension. Glass shattered somewhere behind them. A woman screamed. The abruptly chaotic sound ripped through the cafe, causing panic as people scrambled for safety. The tension snapped like a wire stretched too thin. Anna's eyes darted around, but the man's focus remained on Lucy. "You should have thought about that before." But then, a figure emerged from the wreckage. An older man, bald and with a wild look in his eyes. He took a shaky step forward, pointing a finger, his voice trembling with intensity. "Lucy, you need to know the truth about your mother and your father." Time froze. Everything stopped. Lucy's face drained of color. "What?" The man continued. "Your whole life has been built on lies, secrets that will change everything. For all of us." The crowd watched, breathless. Anna felt a sharp twist in her gut. What truth? What had been hidden? And just like that, the world around them shifted, a fault line cracking open beneath their feet. Lucy's expression turned to horror. What had she been running from? The cafe's chaos faded to a dull roar, and the truth? It was coming. The city was pulsing around them, the loud sounds of life echoing through the streets. Anna and Lucy huddled close, hearts racing. They were connected by shared pain, both haunted by darkness. Anna could feel the tension rising. It was almost suffocating. "Do you think he knows?" Lucy whispered, her voice trembling. Anna shook her head. "He can't. Not yet. We need a plan." As they turned a corner, the atmosphere shifted. The glow of the neon lights felt colder, like a warning. Lucy's phone buzzed violently in her pocket. She pulled it out, eyes scanning the screen. It was a message from an unknown number. "I know about Anna. Meet me at the old pier. Midnight. Or else." Fear twisted in Anna's stomach. "Lucy, we can't. It might be a trap." But Lucy's face hardened. "He's trying to control us. We can't let him win." The moments ticked by until midnight loomed like a dark cloud. They found themselves at the pier, shadows dancing from the streetlights. The salty air stung. Anna's heart beat fast, echoing the sound of waves crashing against the old wood. And then he appeared, a figure draped in darkness. He stepped forward, his sleek suit stark against the night. It was Lucy's father, the man who had haunted both of their pasts. His smile was sharp, a wolf among prey. "Lucy," he called, mockingly sweet. "You brought a guest. How quaint." Anna's stomach dropped. She felt exposed on the pier, every secret laid bare. "What do you want?" she demanded, voice steady. He laughed, a dry, raspy sound. "You think this is about you?" "Oh no. My little girl, she's at a crossroads. One step towards the light, the other into the abyss." Lucy stepped forward, fear turning into fire. "What are you talking about? You're a monster." His smile vanished, replaced with something darker. "Is that so? Perhaps if you dig deep enough, you'll uncover some truths about yourself, my dear." In an instant, the air thickened with tension. This wasn't just a confrontation. It felt like the entire city drew breath, frozen in time. "What do you mean?" she asked, curiosity mixing with dread. "Did you ever wonder why you always felt different?" He leaned closer, whispering, his voice dripping with venom. "Your mother, she had secrets. You were meant for something far greater than this pathetic life." Lucy's eyes widened. "What are you saying?" Anna's heart raced as Lucy shook her head. "No, you're lying." "Whatever you did to her, it doesn't matter. I'm not going back." The man's smile returned, but it was twisted. "You have no idea, do you? The blood runs thicker than you think. It's time for you to choose, Lucy. Embrace your legacy or watch it crumble." Before Lucy could respond, he reached into his coat, pulling out an envelope, tossing it at their feet. "Read it. The truth will set you free or trap you forever." Then, without another word, he melted back into the shadows, leaving behind an ominous silence filled with uncertainty. Lucy saw the envelope and stared at it, breathless. What could it be? What truth? Anna reached for it, hands trembling. There was a weight to it, a gravity that felt almost magnetic. Could it hold the key to their past, or would it unravel everything they fought to build? Their eyes locked, the air thick with questions, fear, hope. They had a choice toward the unknown, or to remain in the dark. As the moon shone bright above them, the future hung in balance, and the haunting truth loomed ever closer. What lay within the envelope? The answer could change everything. Lucy stared down at the envelope, panic swirling in her chest. This felt like a turning point, like the world had shifted. Her hands trembled as she reached for it, adrenaline coursing through her veins. "What if it's a trap?" Anna urged, but Lucy was already tearing it open, driven by a desperate need to know. The contents spilled out. Photographs, documents, names, an entire tapestry of ties connecting her father to hidden dealings. Her heart raced with each new piece. "This is it," she breathed. But as she read, something twisted deep inside her. The documents listed connections she never expected. Names linked to her mother, but also to Anna. "What? No!" She felt bile rise in her throat. "Anna?" Before she could finish her thought, a sudden loud crash interrupted them. A flash of movement caught Lucy's eye as two figures emerged from the shadows. The crowd around the pier gasped, eyes widening in shock. It was her father again, along with another man, eerily familiar, stepping out with a sly smile. "Father!" Lucy shouted, voice rising, unsure who might be more dangerous. "What do you want?" The newcomer's face twisted into a knowing grin. "Lucy, dear, it's time you faced your family." "What do you mean?" she demanded, fear tightening her chest. But then he grinned wider and waved dismissively. "Let's not keep the suspense, shall we?" With a flip of his wrist, fireworks erupted in the night sky, illuminating their surroundings with bursts of color. Bright lights flashed, but instead of celebrating, the crowd's gasps morphed into fear. Within the bursts, Lucy saw faces, people she thought she'd never see again. Friends, family, all watching intently, and then he spoke the words that shattered everything. "You see, Lucy, there's a reason you never truly knew your mother. She's alive. She's been—" "No!" Anna cried, her voice cracking. "He's lying!" But the man continued, unfazed. "Your mother has been orchestrating a plan leading right to you. Everything you've built, Lucy, was always meant to bring you home." Stunned silence enveloped them, suffocating. Lucy's heart raced, confusion whirling in her mind. "Home? What are you talking about? Your so-called father isn't your real father." The man continued, a glint in his eye. "She sacrificed everything to protect you. You were meant to take the legacy, and now it's time." The lights exploded again, casting an ethereal glow, but the warmth felt cold against Lucy's skin. Her world tilted. If everything she knew was a lie, then who was she even? Dread pooled in her gut. Then, from the crowd, an elderly woman stepped forward, her eyes fierce. "Lucy, I'm your grandmother! I've waited for so long to find you." Time stopped. The words echoed, ringing in her ears, disbelief crashing through her like a wave. The years of searching, the phantom of her mother, it all twisted and morphed into something unrecognizable. Lucy looked back to Anna, searching for solidarity, but Anna's expression had shifted. Distrust clouded her face. "You knew? You knew this was going to happen?" Anna swallowed hard, her eyes wide with confusion. I didn't—" But before she could explain, Lucy's heart hardened. Betrayal cut deeper than the revelation. "So you're all part of this?" she asked, stepping back, hurt flashing through her. Why didn't anyone tell me? The old woman's hand trembled, a flicker of regret in her eyes. It was never meant to be this way. We thought you were safe. But now, you need to understand. What? That everything I've built is a lie? Lucy cried, voice rising over the chaos. That you're all part of this web? I'm not a pawn. Suddenly, the fireworks exploded in another deafening clap, drowning her words. In the midst of the lights, shadows shifted, revealing figures lurking in the background. A sharp jolt of fear struck Lucy as she realized they weren't just observers, they were threats. Etched in desperation, she fought against the sudden unraveling of her world, each new truth shattering pieces of her reality. I need to leave. All of you, she shouted, turning to flee. Lucy, wait, Anna called, desperation lacing her voice. But Lucy ran, the ground shifting beneath her, trying to escape the chaos, trying to find herself among the truths that threatened to consume her. But before she could slip away into the shadows, the old woman shouted, You have to see! They're not safe! Lucy stopped, heart racing, battling emotions. What did that even mean? She felt time hold its breath, the city around her pulsing with secrets, and the truth? It hung heavy in the air, elusive yet powerful. What now? Somewhere, buried within the chaos, lay answers that could tear her apart further, or reveal the path to her freedom. And as she stood there, trembling on the edge of uncertainty, the night deepened. Darkness swirling, and Lucy was left desperate to know what would come next. Lucy stood there, heart pounding, her breath coming in shallow gasps. She felt like a puppet tangled in strings, her reality fraying at the edges. The revelation of her grandmother, the chaos around her, it all blurred into a tight ball of panic. She turned back, eyes darting between faces, desperation clawing at her throat. Lucy, you have to listen, Anna shouted, but her voice sounded distant. All Lucy could hear was the roar of doubt flooding her mind. Shadows loomed, secrets churning, and before she could think, she bolted from the crowd. The night air hit her like a slap as she sprinted from the pier, every heartbeat echoing in her ears. She ran back towards the city, past the dazzling lights that felt mocking now. They spiraled in a whirl, memories colliding. The weight of what she'd just heard crashing down. But then, bang! A deafening blast, echoing against the buildings. She spun back, eyes wide. Fireworks? No, more explosions. Chaos erupted around her. People screamed, some running, others falling. Shadows surged, figures darting in the smoke and shouts. Lucy? Anna's voice cut through the chaos, piercing the thick air. Lucy stumbled, her breath hitching as she turned. Confusion mixing with horror. The pier was dissolving into chaos, but then something caught her eye. From the darkness, her father emerged. A sinister grin spread across his face. Time's up, Lucy! He bellowed, his words laced with triumph. Instinct kicked in. She turned to retreat, but something grabbed her, pulling her back into the mayhem. Sinister laughter echoed, and the world felt like it was breaking apart. She needed answers. Who was she? And then that moment changed everything. A blinding flash ignited behind her, and suddenly the crowd surged. Watch out! Someone cried. But then the impossible happened. Within the swirl, Anna stepped forward, arms outstretched, caught in a moment of courageous defiance. You don't have to do this, she yelled toward Lucy's father. And in that instant, an unseen force struck Anna, sending her crashing to the ground. Time slowed to a crawl. "Anna!" Lucy screamed, lunging forward, but the blast knocked her off her feet. The air thickened with dust and confusion. As she fought to rise, everything blurred, a web weaving pain, betrayal, and chaos pulled tightly together. But when the dust cleared, something in Anna's hand glimmered under the streetlights. It was a pendant, catching the light just right. Lucy's breath caught in her throat. That was her mother's pendant, an heirloom she'd worn for years, the one that had disappeared along with her mother. "Lucy!" Anna's voice strained as she struggled to sit up, shock mingling with anguish. "I didn't know! I'm sorry." Lucy felt her heart stop. "You knew my mother? All this time?" Anna's eyes widened with fear and pain. "What I thought! I didn't know it would come to this. I was trying to protect you." Time froze again as everything reshaped, trust crumbling like brittle glass before her. "You were protecting me?" Lucy's voice was a whisper, trembling with disbelief. A chill washed over her, deeper than fear, as the truth sharpened around them. If everything she knew had been a lie, then who was Anna? Just then, the sky erupted with the explosion of fireworks again, the perfect cover for the chaos. But hidden amidst the light was another shape. Her father, lurking in the shadows, eyes wild with raging triumph. And then came the twists, the sudden and shocking revelations. The crowd began to shift and murmur, and Lucy had a gut feeling they were not safe here, that something bigger loomed. "Lucy, listen!" Anna urged, eyes wide, panic breaking through. "We have to get out!" But before they could think, the ground shook beneath them again, and a shadow emerged in the chaos. Her mother, eyes fierce, stepping forth from the darkness that screamed with secrets hidden for too long. "Lucy, it's time to come home." And just like that, the pieces scattered again, leaving them gasping for clarity in a storm of uncertainty. What did she mean? Would the truth finally lay bare, or were they headed headfirst into a bigger trap than they ever conceived? The answer hung heavy in the air, and Lucy felt a jolt of fear mixed with hope, as the reality of who she might become reared to life within her. What now? Everything was possible, and yet nothing felt safe. With the flames of fireworks fading, Lucy stood frozen as her mother stepped into the light, the night air thick with tension. "Mom?" Lucy stammered, disbelief gripping her heart. "Is it really you?" Her mother's eyes shone with a mix of fear and determination. "It's time for you to understand everything, Lucy. You've been in danger for too long," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "Danger?" Lucy echoed, glancing at Anna, who looked just as confused. "What do you mean? I don't understand." Before her mother could explain, Lucy's father stepped forward with a sharp, mocking grin. "Oh, how touching!" he sneered. "The family reunion you never wanted! But let's not pretend this changes anything." "No, it changes everything!" Lucy shouted back, fists clenched. "You've manipulated everyone, tied us to your lies. I won't let you control me anymore." The crowd stirred, whispers and gasps swirling around them. Faces turned, eyes wide with shock and curiosity. They stood at the center of the storm, caught in a web of betrayal and shadows, and Lucy could feel the weight of it pressing down on her. "Lucy," her mother said softly, stepping closer, "I made choices to protect you. I thought I could shield you from him, from the truth. But now, it's time!" A sudden gust of wind swept through the pier, sending chill shivers up their spines. "Enough!" Lucy's father barked, his face darkening. "Do you think anyone cares about your stories? They want power, glory, my legacy, not your sob story." "Your legacy is built on pain," Anna shot back, stepping forward. Fire burned in her eyes, fierce and unwavering, "and we won't let it suffocate us any longer." For a moment, silence hung heavy in the air, but Lucy felt something shift inside her. A spark igniting, the strength of determination swelling. "No more secrets, no more lies," she declared, voice unwavering. "I refuse to live in your shadow." And in that moment, her mother's gaze softened. "You're stronger than I ever knew," she whispered, pride shining in her eyes. The tension felt tangible as Lucy turned to the crowd, newfound radiance radiating from her. "I know the truth now, and I won't hide anymore," she shouted, her voice firm and true. "Together we can unravel this dark legacy." The crowd erupted, murmurs turning into cheers, faces brightening with hope. The darkness that had loomed felt smaller now, shrinking beneath the weight of their shared strength. But just as they celebrated, Lucy's father scowled, fury boiling within him. "This isn't over. You'll regret this, all of you," he spat through gritted teeth. "Maybe," Lucy replied, unafraid, "but at least we'll face it together." With that declaration hanging in the air, Lucy felt the grip of fear loosen. Her heart soared. They were united now, not just a mother and daughter, but a family forged in resilience. As whispers of the crowd faded, Lucy turned, staring into Anna's eyes. "We have to stay vigilant. There's still a long way to go." Anna nodded, understanding the weight of unspoken promises. They had uncovered one truth, but others still lingered, waiting in the shadows for the chance to rise again. And in the midst of that uncertainty, Lucy felt hope flicker brightly for the first time in years. A sliver of light, cutting through the dark, but acknowledging the journey ahead. They would fight together, no matter what came next. Together, they turned back to the pier, a united front against the storm that had once shaken them apart. The city stood watching, breath held tight as they stepped forward into the unknown, ready to carve their own fate. But before the scene faded to black, a voice echoed from the shadows. "You can never escape your blood." And just like that, the weight of the past surged back, an unyielding tide crashing over everything they'd built. So, dear watchers, we've come to the end of this chapter. But this is still the moment to strike. You have to subscribe now to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. And don't wait even a second longer to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this ending. Flood the comment section with your reactions and theories about the finale. Your support matters. Only true fans understand the importance of keeping this story alive. What will happen next? Don't let this story end here.